All right, let's talk strategies. And these are a few tips and tricks that might help you out with these dictations here. So the first one is one that we've already talked about. It's called multiple stage dictation, and that's where you write the rhythm on the first listen, and then on the second and third listens, that's when you try and figure out what notes they are. If you find that this doesn't help you, just remember, I don't grade this half of it. I only grade what you write down over here. This is essentially scratch paper over here. So if you don't think that it helps you, don't do it. Just write it down over here. But it seems like for most of the class it helps if we write the rhythm first, and it certainly helps me out a lot. So I'm going to be giving you a few examples. Just remember that these are not actually the answers on the quiz. I am making up new ones. So let's say number one was this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so ignoring all of the notes going up and down, I can hear that it goes T, 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 ta, ta. So that's what I'm going to write. Alright, all of the note heads first. T, 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 ta, ta. And then I'm going to write the note stems. Now, remember, I don't grade what's over here. So if you need to have not so good handwriting so that you can write it down really fast over here, that's okay because I'm not going to grade it as long as you can tell what you wrote. All right, so now that we've had the first listen and we have the rhythm down, let's have the second listen. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I can tell that it started on me because it went down, or it started low, then it went up, and then went up again, so it'll go low, up, up, mi, sol, la. So, and I already know the rhythm here. Mi, mi, sol, sol, la, sol. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to write all the note heads first and then write the note stems. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. This is just what works for me. All right, so now I'm just writing in the rhythm here. All right, making sure that I have good musical handwriting. Mi, mi, sol, sol, la, sol. All right, so that's the first strategy, is multiple stage dictation. The other thing that I'll tell you is that a lot of times what got us is that we forgot that we're only using 3 notes. So if you forget which notes they are, take a look at the example. The example will always use all 3 notes, right? Because I saw a lot of people that almost had the right answer, but instead of writing, they wrote this right here. Now this is almost right, but mi is not on this line. It's right below the line, just like in the example. The other thing I'll tell you is sometimes it's kind of hard to remember how long the note stems should be. For that, it's also a good idea to look at the example because check it out. Again, the example has all 3 notes that we're using, so that means that the example also has an example of how long the note stems should be. So if you forget how long the note stem for sol should be, just check it out in the example right over here. And you can see that it starts at this top line. All right. Now, the third strategy that I will give you is sometimes we're not so good at remembering or figuring out which different notes we're using. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to try and get that, but I will say that a lot of times it looks like we get too caught up in trying to get that perfect, and that makes us ignore rhythm and handwriting, even though those are just as big of a part of the grade. So, one of the tips that I'm going to give you is if you can't figure out whether the note is mi, sol, or la, just write it on the sol line right here. So if I were to play and I can't tell if that first note is mi or sol or la, and I can't tell the rest of them, it's not a bad idea to just write it all on this line. Right? Because as long as you have the right rhythm and you have good musical handwriting, that means that you already have 2/3 of the points. What I will warn against is doing this, but drawing it on another line that is not one of the notes that we use. I saw a lot of people use this middle line, and that's not a note that we use. So that's automatically points off. That's no good. All right? Again, feel free to email me with any more questions that you might have. Please ask me any more questions that you might have, and good luck.